Hey, this is Trish, and I just wanted to do an update on my Irish concert. I'm doing this series of Diary of a Struggling Artist, which is, just my life. But especially on doing this Irish concert because I don't think a lot of artists understand what exactly goes on in trying to get your music or your play or your show on stage. When you are a performing artist or you are a writer or a composer, there are a lot more moving parts when you're trying to get your work or try to perform on stage. It's not like when you're a painter or a potter or a sculptor and you can just submit your work to a competition or through slides or submit your work to a museum and then your work just, they put it on the wall or they put it on a little stand or whatever the space is, and it just sits there. When you are a performing artist or a creative artist who creates for the performing arts, there are so many more people involved and so many other aspects of the work that are involved that you don't even think about. Like right now I'm dealing with the contract, and even though I am a single individual person doing this concert, I'm being charged at a commercial rate rather than being charged at a nonprofit rate because I'm not a nonprofit and I'm not associated with a nonprofit. Which basically that means I'm paying a lot more money for everything all the way along the way. And so it's not fair to the individual artist, but that's just the way it is. This country has fallen under the belief system that the nonprofit is the way to go for the arts, and it's not. What that means is that we're kind of taking the responsibility away from widespread support for the arts in our society and trying to limit it to these individual organizations who have to struggle for funding, and so they have to be very selective about what they put on and second up to their membership. And when you're an individual artist, all you want is to get your stuff on stage. You want to be seen and heard, but then you have to go through the hoops of all that. Well, I'm not going through those hoops. I'm putting this sucker on myself because I don't want to wait a year or two to go through the approval process with a nonprofit, to have to do whatever they would want me to do. I just want to do my freaking Irish music concert, and so it's just frustrating in a lot of ways, but at the same time I'm in charge and I get to do what I want, and luckily things are coming together. But I am having to deal with things like the contract. You have to watch out for all of the fees. You have to be very careful about what they need from you. For instance, liability insurance. Most artists don't even think about liability insurance, but you have to have it when you perform or when you rent a space. Security, police and fire, because you have a large number of people in a confined space. That's just you want to be safe, not sorry. And thankfully for my Irish concert, I've got, a local fire department's pipes and drums band. And I've got a friend of mine who's a paramedic supervisor, and he's also a volunteer firefighter. He's a great guy, Alan, and he's going to run the front. So, in terms of safety, my show is going to be pretty damn safe. But those kinds of things are things you never think about as an artist when you're creating work and you're wanting to get your work on stage. But what really sucks, though, is that I am being charged at a commercial rate. So that means I have to work even harder to get sponsors, to get donations, to sell tickets, to get people to buy ads in the program. So there's a lot of legwork on my end as the artist, and I'm just the artist. I'm not a trained marketing director. I'm not, I'm producing this thing. I'm directing it. I'm, putting it all together. So there's a lot of work on my end, and a lot of artists don't know what they're getting into the first time out. Hell, I didn't know the first time I got into this stuff, I remember I auditioned for a show, and they asked me to be the stage manager because they knew I was really good at keeping things organized and watching over a cast, and that stemmed from the show before we did, where I asked to be the production stage manager because I wanted to know what it was like to put a show on stage, because I had my own musical. It was called Witch Craze. It takes place during the Salem witch trials, and I wanted to know what goes on behind the scenes, and I did everything for that show but call it because I was on stage during that show. But it was just a wake-up call. But that's what I wanted. That's what I asked for. I want to see what goes on behind the scenes. But a lot of artists never get that. And so when they go out to put their work on stage, they're either at the mercy of a nonprofit, and that process, which can be literally years in the making to actually get works on stage, or it's just trial by fire. As one of the songs of my show, it's a trial by fire. You learn by doing, and you learn by making mistakes. And so, luckily, thankfully, I've done enough of producing shows, small shows and fundraisers and whatever. I'm pretty well versed in what goes on, but I know a lot of artists aren't. So that's why I'm doing this Diary of a Struggling Artist. It's why I'm talking about the different things that I'm encountering. So right now I'm dealing with the contract and finalizing that, and all of the little fees and all the accommodations that have to be made. I found rehearsal space. That's $50, you know, each time we rehearse. I need ad space. I just got a friend of mine who owns a local Irish pub. He's going to serve food in the lobby, which is awesome. So I'm going to talk to another friend of mine who owns another Irish pub and see if he'll serve Guinness and beer and all that stuff. So really make it an immersive Irish experience, and then I'm going to have the pipes and drums on stage with me for Act 2. So it's just going to be a really great thing. But anyway, it's a lot of moving parts, and so if you are an artist and you're looking to do an event, it's a lot of work, a lot of moving parts, a lot of legalities and liabilities that you don't even think about when you're creating a piece of art for the stage. And so, sorry, it's very warm. But yeah, I mean, it's a great process. And if you have any questions that you're looking to do your own production or whatever, just contact me through YouTube or through my website, trishkazi.com, and I'll offer you some tips. But yeah, this is the reason I'm doing this Diary of a Struggling Artist series. Next week I'm going to get together with the band, the guys that I've got together for the band, and really start working on promotion, because now that I have my band mostly in place, and I've got this confirmation of my friends and their pubs, you know, being represented in the lobby, the fire department on stage, you know, I've got all the pieces in place, so now I can reach out to potential ad people and sponsors and people who actually have the money that can help me make this happen, because renting this place is expensive. Everything is expensive. Posters, printing programs, printing tickets, you know, everything. It's just a lot of money, all for something for one night. But you know, that's what we live for, right? Is that one moment on stage. But hopefully this will be very enjoyable for the audience as well, and you know, just some good exposure from good old Irish music and Irish food and Irish beer. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna get back to work now. It's a little bit warm, so I'm gonna go back home. I'm doing my miles on the bike right now, but helps me clear my head, and that's important too, is to get out of your space and get out into nature and just clear your head, because sometimes it can just be overwhelming if you stay in that same location. Because you know, artists, we can't get out much. We don't have money for that. We don't have money for that. We don't have money to go anywhere. We live in our head, right? So, but sometimes it's great just to get out in nature and just think, as while I'm, you know, doing miles on the bike or just miles walking. So, all right, I will let you go. The sun's peeking out, so you know, I'm Irish, so I don't do sunshine. No. Very bad on the skin. It hurts. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to keep working, and I will keep you updated. So make sure you follow this playlist on my Diary of a Struggling Artist. And if you want more information on my Irish concert and how you can participate and how you can watch it live streamed on YouTube when it appears in October, just go to trishkazi.com. All right, love you. Bye.